So,
Don't want to say so right to start. Whatever.
hi, welcome to Willow, Brook, Apiary, and Homestead. Happy bees, healthy honey. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please be sure to subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you'll get the most up-to-date videos as they come out. As you'll see, a little bit different background here today. No bees, no chickens, no rabbits.
That we know of.
And no corny jokes, probably. But today we're going to be doing an interview with Darren from LifeSong Incorporated. And Darren, why don't you tell a little bit about what you do at LifeSong?
Sure. Well, LifeSong is an agency that supports folks, adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And actually celebrates its 10th anniversary in May, right around Memorial Day. I personally am clinical services manager. All of our participants, everybody in our program, and we have over 100 participants in our day services program. Every one of them has a program or a set of services that they coordinate with the state of New York, and it's my job to take those plans and put them into a usable format for the direct support staff that are working directly with all of the participants. So we kind of take the state format and make it usable, make it something so that our guys have something to do during the day.
A little bit more person-centered.
Right, and it's to kind of take the generic ideas and turn them into activities, turn them into ways for direct support to be able to take our guys into the community, which is what we do. We're a without walls program. So we're in the vans, out in the community, volunteering, doing skill building and recreational activities throughout the capital region and beyond sometimes. So the coaches know specifically what our guys are going to be working on to develop independence, to develop skills and abilities that are going to help them with their lives.
Right on. That sounds very practical. I have a background in teaching as a teaching assistant with BOCES, and did that for 10 and a half years. And one of my biggest issues with that, and what actually brought me here to LifeSong as a direct support professional, is the fact that with what we're doing here, it cuts so much of the political red tape that tied our hands as teachers and teaching assistants from being able to teach this very unique population things that were going to benefit them outside of the classroom.
Right.
And we're no longer teaching to the test. We are now teaching to the individual needs, desires, interests, with very unique opportunities.
Yep.
One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on today was to talk about this Daffodil Dash, this LifeSong Dash that is coming up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And can you tell me a little bit about what used to be called Daffodil Dash, but we've changed it to a LifeSong Dash.
Right.
What is the LifeSong Dash?
The LifeSong Dash is a 5K road race that our agency does every year. As it's the chief fundraiser that we do in the community, but it's also our one very large community outreach event to let the greater capital region know who we are and what we do. It was started, as you mentioned, a few years ago. It was called the Daffodil Dash because it was run in May, which is around the time when all the daffodils start to bloom.
Yeah.
But as it grew,
if I remember right, it was rather chilly in May sometimes too, yeah?
Chilly, rainy,
snowy, occasionally.
I wasn't there for any of the snowy ones,
no,
but I heard, but it wasn't fun. So they decided to push the dash back to the first weekend of June and rename it after the agency that it supports. So that's why it's now called the LifeSong Dash. And it's held at Half Moon Town Park. Again, first weekend of June, typically every year. So this year is June 5th. And it's a 5K race that this year for the first time is sanctioned by United States Track and Field. So that is something that they have certified our course so that, you know, people who want to run an official 5Ks can use our race as one to kind of set their times and their handicap or however runners do that. But this year the sanctioning means that we are a part of the Adirondack US ATF hub. They do a Grand Prix, a challenge series of races, and the Dash is a part of that for the first time. So we're likely going to have competitive runners from across the Northeast are going to be joining us this year.
That's pretty awesome. I know in the past we've had runners come and run the LifeSong 5K as a means of getting on the book for the Boston Marathon.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the next level up of sanctioning, where it's like a little bit more of a big deal.
Yeah, well, last year, I say last year, 2019, the last year that we had a live dash, we actually had a woman who was going to be running in the Pan American Games later that year.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's become a very, very well-known regional road race. And again, in 2019, last time we had the race, we had probably, I think it was 320 something runners who participated, all levels, you know, from the Pan Am runners all the way. So anyway, there are runners who are serious competitive distance runners. And then there's also just the average guy or the average girl who just wants to run a 5K, challenge themselves, and wants to support our agency.
Yep. Now, so you don't have to be running in the Boston Marathon or the Pan American race. No. Anybody can sign up for this?
Anybody can sign up for it. You can run it, you can walk it. We allow moms with strollers, any age. In fact, when we opened registration this year, we had a mom and her 5-year-old son sign up to run. So I think the young man is going to be on his bicycle, but still, you know, in any way, shape, or form to be able to participate.
Are they doing the mom and 5-year-old? Are they doing the 1 mile fun run, or is he on his bike going to do the whole 5K?
That's a good question. We are actually, because of the size of the race and because of some of the restrictions that the state has put on us because of COVID, we're not doing the kids run this year. We're only doing the 5K, the main 5K. But we are doing it in like smaller waves and smaller groups throughout the morning. So we don't really have room for the 1K run like we have in past years. So we're just doing the full 5K.
Now, as far as people signing up, do the participants that we serve, do they ever sign up and join in?
They actually do. We've had some of them have formed their own team. There's a team competition as well as the individual competition, and they've signed up as teams of 4, 5, 6 of them, and they've run. We also have groups from LifeSong. The coach will recruit 2 or 3 of our guys and will form a team of their own. So yeah, they're right there running, walking with everybody else. Absolutely. That's one of the great parts of it, is that it's not just a competitive race. You know, we want our guys to kind of experience the day for just being a part of the camaraderie of everything that's going on, and also for exercise too, being able to get out and walk 3 miles, or some of our guys can run 3 miles, and they do. They have a great time with it.
Now, if you've got somebody who's signed up and you want to come support them, but you yourself are not going to run, are there other things that are happening other than just the running and walking that are fun?
Well, if you are, say you're somebody who maybe wants to participate, but maybe because of COVID, you're still a little concerned about being out in public with large groups and things like that, we are doing a virtual component to the race again this year. Last year, the on-site race got canceled because of COVID. So we just did the whole thing virtually last year. And that was actually a great success. We were really surprised by how our kind of family of runners, the people who have run in years past, signed up anyway and were participating that way. But we're doing a virtual version of it this year. We also have a silent auction that we're going to be doing, an online auction that we're going to be doing. So maybe you don't want to register as a runner and support us financially that way, but you can go onto our site and you can bid on gift certificates and services and prizes and things like that you'd be able to help out with as well. Normally, when there weren't the gathering restrictions and everything that there are currently, we would have lots of spectators and we would have live music and all sorts of stuff.
And that's one of the big things that's going to be missing this year is we had some of the LifeSong chorus and music bands, musicians would come and play instruments and sing.
Right.
And due to current restrictions, that's not happening this year.
As of right now. As of right now. We are crossing the fingers and the toes and fasting and praying that by the first weekend of June, a lot of those things are going to be lifted. And we still have some things planned out if that does happen. So it's kind of been strange coordinating everything. We've actually kind of had to plan 2 events, one with all the cool fun stuff on site and one without, and
one with more cool virtual stuff.
The virtual race is going to happen either way, but if the gathering restrictions kind of stay in place, they are right now as we tape this, it's probably just going to be the race. But if they loosen stuff more, the town of Half Moon has said, bring whatever you want, do whatever you want, and they're fully in support of it.
What are some examples? You mentioned that this is one of the premier fundraising events for LifeSong, the biggest one of the year. What are some of the things that money raised by the LifeSong Dash or the Daffodil Dash has gone to support, and how has it benefited the folks that we serve?
Sure. Well, the one thing about our program is that we are state funded. We are, the vast majority of the money that is used to run LifeSong comes through Medicaid dollars through the state of New York. But Medicaid doesn't pay for everything. And there are some things that Phil and Jill Ketchpole, who are the directors of LifeSong, some things that they've wanted to go above and beyond to do to bless our guys. And actually, we're sitting in one of them right now. We're in the art studio, and the funding for outfitting this room and some of the rent and some of the things that we do in this place here have come directly from Dash funds. All right, so we're talking about the things that the Dash funds go to. One of the other great things that we have here at LifeSong is a full recording studio, which has a sound booth for singers and musicians, and then a studio with a soundboard and everything else that goes along with it. And all of that was created with Dash funds. And we also have a landscaping team that now that it's springtime is just about ready to get going. And all of the equipment that was purchased for landscaping, the mowers and the trimmers and all of the different things that they use, that all came out of Dash funds as well. So it's program funds. It doesn't go to salaries. It doesn't go to propping up individuals. It goes all back into program things, things that are used specifically to set LifeSong apart as an agency.
And one of the things with that, I want to touch on both the music studio, the art studio, the music studio, and landscaping. So with the art studio, so a lot of our participants really enjoy this space, and they work with all different mediums: clay, paint, oil, drawing, pencil, all of that. But then they're not just creating the art, but then they actually enter their art in local fairs when they're happening, and in different art shows and art exhibits. Some of that has been offered for sale through some of those art exhibits.
Right.
Thank you to our amazing art director for that. But then, like, if we talk about the music studio, it's not just the guys coming in, the girls coming in and singing, and trained individual behind the board doing the recording and the mixing of sound, but they actually get to participate in that and learn how to do the recording, how to adjust sound, edit clips. And didn't we put together a CD with featuring our LifeSong participants in the singing?
Yeah, it was a Christmas project that the guys did, I think 5 or 6 years ago.
They'll still, like, even in the middle of June, I'll still get a request. You know, hey, I brought in my LifeSong Christmas CD. Can we put it in and listen to it?
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's your guys singing your music. Let's put it in and crank it up.
Yeah, and honestly, I think we're actually, as an agency, I think we're due to put another project together. I think there is rumblings of producing a new CD. I don't know if it's going to be a Christmas one this year, but
whatever
I know
it is, I'm sure it'll be a smash.
It'll be amazing. We've got some really talented people who are part of our program.
Yep. And then with the landscaping, this is something where, like, unlike a traditional, when you hear landscaping, you might think, oh, you know, a crew comes in, they mow your lawn, they get paid. This is not that. It is more teaching our guys how a landscape crew works, what it's like, how to properly weed eat, how to mow the lawn in the right direction. There's been pruning of trees and bushes, all kinds of different aspects, but they're learning a future job skill that they can then put on a resume and say, you know, I've volunteered as a landscaper for the last year, the last 2 years, the last 5 years, and that goes on a job skill, because LifeSong isn't just the day hab program without walls, but we also have supported employment, where our goal is, if the individuals we serve would like to, we're trying to transition them over into supported employment and eventually independent employment, where they don't even need the services. But everything that we do, so the LifeSong Dash is to help fund some of the cool aspects of LifeSong in different ways that we can train the individuals to be more independent and more capable of living their full life.
That's right.
To the best of their abilities. And I love the way Phil and Joe really focuses on the folks we serve as not having disabilities, but different unique abilities.
Correct.
They're all strong in different areas, just like we are. I mean, things that you're good at, I would not be. Things that I'm good at, someone else might not be. And it's the same thing with the folks we serve.
That's right.
They all have their different unique little focuses that they're really strong at, and blow my mind on a daily basis with some of the things they remember, the knowledge they have. You know, I was doing a gardening class virtually, and one of the folks that we serve spoke up and was like, oh yeah, I've been part of this landscaping, greenhouse through a different service, and I've learned all this stuff on how to plant seeds and warming mats and how to keep them and care for them and transplant them and sell them and grow them and harvest, and I'm sitting back going, I might tap into that resource as we're headed into spring and I'm doing more and more preparation for our LifeSong gardens. I might have to ask him some specific questions, like, this didn't really go well last year, what can we do different? And that's just one of those examples of hidden knowledge where we might not see something right away and expect, oh, well, they're going to be really knowledgeable about this, and they'll just surprise us with information and knowledge that they have and skills that they have, where it's just like, wow, yeah, let's run with that.
I think a lot of what we do for the folks who are in that position, a lot of what we do is job training. I mean, it's, There are specific pre-vocational providers. There are specific organizations that kind of gear that way. But what we do is the job training and the skill training of some of the kind of the key elements that we kind of take for granted. How do you communicate with your boss? How do you take a direction?
How do you interview? How do you interview?
Right, exactly. Just those basic communication things that some people are just not very strong at, or being able to focus on a task. I mean, some of the very ground level skills that you're going to need in a job, and we can take guys, coming in our front doors to kind of work in those areas. Then they transition into something like landscaping, where they're kind of practicing those things in a real environment. Yeah. And then, like you mentioned about supported employment, once they succeed at that, then that's the next logical step. And we say in the clinical office all the time, our job is to work these guys out of our program. Yeah. It's not for them to just continue to sit here year after year after year doing the same thing and never getting anywhere.
That's unique. In most businesses, the goal is to retain customers.
Right.
And in the business that we're in,
it's to kick them out the front.
Rotate,
yeah,
rotate,
exactly. Right.
Constantly move them to independence,
right,
and bring in new people.
Yep.
And start all over again.
And we have a number of success stories of folks that have come into our program with very low expectations of themselves. Maybe family is thinking, geez, if they could just succeed here and succeed there, we'd be overjoyed. And then the next thing you know, they're getting into situations where they're leading crews at some of our volunteer sites, with our staff support, obviously. Yeah. Then they're talking about employment, they're looking at new jobs, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, they're dropping out of Dayhab because where they're working as in the supported employment program wants them for more hours. They don't have room for Dayhab anymore, and they really don't need it.
Yeah. And that's the real success.
It is. And then when we get to the point where even the coaches in supported employment are coming back and saying they really don't need me. I mean, there's one gentleman who's now transitioned all the way through our Dayhab program, through supported employment, and is a manager at a retail store where he currently works. I mean, it's amazing to see from where he started to where he is now. He's getting married over the summer. I mean, it's just
that really is one of my favorite stories to see how both that individual and the individual who he's engaged to have really blossomed.
Yeah.
And they really are truly great people.
Yeah.
Every person we serve, from the day one, you're getting to know them, and then you're hearing about them leaving program because they're graduating, they're succeeding, they're winning, they're leveling up and moving out and doing life on their own. And it's one of the harder parts of the job because you're happy about it, but at the same time we've gotten to know them so well that it's like you're happy for them and proud for them, but at the same time you're like, man, I'm gonna miss you. Don't make yourself a stranger. And we do. We have folks come back and visit and say hi and drop in and emails and letters. Kind of to circle back to the LifeSong Dash.
Right.
You said that's the first weekend in June, so the 4th and 5th of June.
It's June 5th the on-site event at Half Moon Town Park. The virtual event is going to run from June 1st through June 6th. So for the virtual race, you have a whole week to pick your 5K, where you're going to run it, when you're going to run it, and
can you run it in sections? On the 1st, I'm going to run this part. On the 2nd, I'm not going to run this part.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no rule as to how you do it. I mean, we like to collect times for the virtual race. But we had a lot of people last year who they walked it, they didn't run it.
Yeah.
We had a family that took a hike in the Adirondacks for it. They measured out, yeah, I know, your heart. They measured out 3 miles, 3.1 or whatever it is, and they counted that. My family, we walked on the Mohawk Hudson Bike Trail. We measured out, a mile and a half out, a mile and a half back. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it, but if you're doing it virtually, you can pick any time within that week. And you
could check the weather report and find a day where it's not going to be rainy or not going to be too hot or too cold.
That's right.
Pick your best day.
Yeah.
Now, let's say that some of our viewers are watching this, and how would they get registered or signed up for the virtual dash? How would they get registered, signed up for the in-person LifeSong?
Registration is all in one place. You go to LifeSongDash.com. It is a page on the main LifeSong website. So once you go to LifeSongDash.com, you can navigate through and check out more about the program as a whole, pictures and information. But LifeSongDash.com, and there's a registration button right there. It will take you to the page where you fill out the information, how you're going to run, if you're going to do it virtually or in person. All the different details are all right there.
So we'll leave that link in the video description below.
Yep.
And it's a fairly quick process, couple minutes maybe.
Oh yeah,
it's start to finish, easy.
It's
very self-explanatory.
Absolutely, everything is laid out for you. If you're going to run, if your kids are going to be involved in it, you're going to do it as a family. Just follow all the questions, all the information. It's all in one spot, and it'll walk you right through it.
All right, very good. Well, Darren, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you,
and
Chris,
for helping to explain this.
Yep.
And to our viewers, if you want to sign up for the LifeSong Dash, that's the great thing about the virtual. If you don't live locally, you can still do the virtual dash.
Right.
I know I've got some international subscribers. I think there's a guy in England subscribed.
Nice.
So you could, that would be pretty awesome to have somebody from England join in on that virtual dash.
Yeah. Last year we had Maine and Tennessee be a part of it. We would love international runners. It's 5 kilometers. So if you're going to do it internationally, that holds. You don't
even have to convert it.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. Yeah.
So again, thank you so much for your time, Darren, and helping to explain this a little bit to our viewers. Please do sign up for that, whether it's virtually or in person. Let's join in and support this amazing event and this amazing company and the amazing people that we serve. So Willow, Brook, Apiary, and Homestead, happy bees, healthy honey. God bless.
Cool.
That was fun.